Welcome back to Modern Mommies here on soulgarden.me. I am Alexis Ann Moore, the mother of a beautiful 3.5-year-old little boy and the creator of the Superhero Children Project. And with me I have Jennifer Perry, my lovely co-host, who is the mother of 3 beautiful children and is a school counselor in the Dallas school system after 17 years of working in the Dallas public school system. How's it going, Jennifer?
It's good. How are you?
I am doing well. Good. So good to see you again.
You too.
And with us today we have Diane Dunavant. Did I say that right, Diane?
You did. You did great.
Hi. And we've been Facebook friends through the Modern Mommies group for a while, so it's great, so great to have you joining us today.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here and just participate and to see you guys. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Today we are going to be talking about movies and videos in general for children, the pros and the cons of watching them, and giving lists of the ones that we like and the ones that we're not so fond of. And we are going to be discussing, did I just completely forget? What are our tips and tricks today? Oh, that's right. I'll tell you how I forgot, because I'm a mommy. Okay? Oh my gosh, I'm tired. So we're going to be talking about ways to include your child into the things that you love to do. So that way you can get back to doing them, really. It's a tips and tricks and a mommy the mommy in one today. And we're going to be honoring our Hot Daddy of the Week coming up, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, let's just jump right into what is going on in the world today. Jennifer, what do you have for us?
Okay, let's talk about the stuff that is going on in California with Nestle and all of that. I don't know if you're aware of it, but apparently, okay, Nestle, the big corporation, has been draining the aquifers in California and then using that water to rebottle it into bottled water and making like billions and billions of dollars while the people in California are experiencing a drought. And there is no water for them, and they're being rationed and things like that, while Nestle's using that situation to become multi-billionaires.
Right.
And, yeah. So it was just kind of I don't know if y'all are even familiar with it, but it was just another situation where a corporation is taking total advantage of a situation and putting kind of our best interest to the wayside.
Not only that, well, from what I've read, the little bit that I've read about this, I heard that Nestle is paying the exact same amount of money for the water as the people are. So it's not like the city is making more money off them or the state is making more money off of them. So the fact that they're not being rationed while the people are is really confusing to me, and also makes me feel like this is an incredible example of seeing whose interests are really being pandered to in this country. The people don't get the water, but the corporations do, and then they can sell them back to the people that are thirsty.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
They pay 65 cents for every 470 gallons of water, and that's the same amount that the people are charged, but the people aren't using that much water. They're not allowed to.
Right.
And then they bottle it, and then they resell it at just crazy prices.
I actually lived in Mount Shasta area, and at the beginning of last year, this cycle, this whole water thing was actually, we knew about it before it was even reported, and we could actually see all the lakes draining. We could see all the water, because the water for California comes from Mount Shasta, and it comes from the Sacramento River, and it goes down. Well, we weren't getting any snow, no water, no nothing, so it was literally drying up from the source. So it's pretty scary. And then they have another bottling company up there, actually 2, I believe, and they're draining the water up there from the source too. So it's a pretty scary thing.
And nobody's reporting on it, really.
Well, now they are, but it's after the fact, where this has been going on for a while just because I knew about it because I was living there. But now you're seeing the effects all the way down Southern California, and this has been going on for a while, just nobody talked about it.
Sounds like now, like we're hearing about it once, it's already really late in the game.
Right, exactly.
It would be different, too. I mean, if Nestle was doing something to support the community and to help solve the problem. You know, showing love and appreciation for the fact that they get to exist there. You know,
they're not even paying taxes on their profit that they're making from the water that they're selling.
Why?
There's like this huge outcrying right now in a group. That was what they were really, their whole point was, is they're not doing anything. They're just taking the water and making money. They're not paying taxes.
Wow.
They're not being charged more. They're just getting the benefits of taking the water.
So that seriously makes me wonder, why do they get this privilege?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, what is going on? Is it that Nestle is more powerful than the California government? And maybe it's not that the California government's giving them all of these privileges. Maybe they're, like, being forced to. I mean, seriously, if they're not making money off of it, like, why is this happening?
The group kept petitioning to judges to try to get Nestle to, like, release their books and things like that. And the judges kind of just kept looking the other way, and it just kept not happening. So that kind of makes you think that there might be some tie into that.
Wow. And then we've got...
Well, I know
Go ahead, Diane.
I know when I was living up north, that was the big problem, too, was everything was tied up in the judicial system and lawyers, which that keeps everything stopping, and the water keeps flowing. So it's like a time issue with the government and courts.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Like, our systems suck. God. They really do.
Literally.
Yeah, really.
Pardon me in my outburst, but I mean, golly. You can't protect, like, the fact that the water's going. So many problems here. And of course, this is the famous Nestle, who is it the owner or the president of Nestle Corporation, says that water is a privilege, not a right, which makes me want to have a talk alone with him. Definitely.
Yeah. He was the former CEO, but he did say that in an interview, and people have really jumped on that. When I learned about that, I went onto the Nestle page to kind of hear their side. And what they say is he wasn't really saying that it wasn't a human right. What he was saying was that there's plenty of water on the earth and that it shouldn't be used all in one area, that we should spread it out.
Sure he was.
Yeah, and so
spread it out in his plastic bottles.
Yes, so it just interestingly made him a lot of money at the same time.
You know, water doesn't disappear. It just gets into the cycle somewhere. But when you are destroying the natural land formations that are necessary for filtering that water and, you know, creating the aquifers and all of those things, and then, like, they have nowhere to come out, so they're bottling it at source so that water doesn't get to flow where it needs to go, and all of the parts of the system involved in the whole water system itself. You know, it's like we're rerouting everything. And pumping it full of fracking chemicals. I mean, okay, seriously, if you were to sit down with a 4-year-old and explain fracking to them, they would look at you and say, that is a bad idea. You know, like, and my point is that our scientists, experts are not, well, they're not stupid, you know? But that's all I can say.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's, I guess, something we need to look at, or at least I guess people are looking at it now and really screaming, you know, and saying, hey, take a look at what the hell's going on. But I hope it's not too late. A lot of water gone. I think I read that it was the 4th year that California's been experiencing this drought.
Water is an amazing thing, too. Just totally, I mean, kind of along the subject lines, but your public service announcement, weird public service announcement for the day from Alexis. I'm going to give you a really, like, a fascinating glimpse at water, okay? So water travels downward with gravity, and it just kind of makes its way past whatever it comes along and it rolls and it does like all of these twists and turns, and that's what water does, okay? So then we put it into the human water system where it gets hit into 90-degree angles over and over again in these metal pipes, and there's no twisting, there's no adventurous water action at all, and it's like put through a chemical process and this and that, and by the time it comes out of our pipes anyway, forget the 40 plus chemicals in the tap water. By the time it comes out, it is like this dead stuff. Water molecules are amazing because it might look like regular water, but you can have water that's been through the public water system next to water that has come out of a spring, and their molecular structure, the crystalline structure of their water molecules are completely different. The one that comes out of the water system is like not symmetrical, looks sickly and gross, and the one that comes out of like a natural place is like snowflake-like. It is amazing. Hey, Dr. Emoto, if y'all want to do some homework, go look up Dr. Emoto, because he has done, the late Dr. Emoto, he did some amazing work on the effects of thoughts and emotions on water. I'm fascinated by water. I think if God is on earth, it's water. I think it's amazing stuff, and somebody messing with it really like pushes my mommy buttons, you know? Like, I feel very mama cat over that stuff. Well, yeah. Let's come back to this sometime and cover it a little bit more, because there's so much to talk about on that subject.
There really is.
Have any kind of information to teach us about that you want to share?
That was really kind of the biggest thing. It was interesting that the whole fracking thing was going on there too. That's a whole other show too we ought to talk about, is what's going on in our backyard that we don't really realize.
Bad news. They don't love us, you know. I'd be totally fine with all these people existing if they would just leave me alone, you know, like just go do that way over there, mess up your own little land that you're going to live on, and just do that. Just do that.
Leave my land and my stuff alone, though.
All right, so kids and TV and movies. I have noticed that pretty much every kids movie has violence in it of some sort, even like Fern Gully, you know, like these like sweet, awesome movies you think are great for kids, they always have a battle or something in them, and then my kid turns around and is like,
imitating it.
No, movie time was calming time. It was not let's go beat up everybody time.
Yeah, that is true.
Have you ever noticed that when you're watching a show or a movie, say you're watching a suspense movie and it's getting to the suspenseful part and you're like not breathing, you're like, you're totally caught up at it, and then, or the scary thing happens, your whole body reacts like you're there?
Yeah,
it's literally guided meditations when you trick your body into really feeling like it's going through that, and so you're like putting all those hormones coming through you. I don't like doing that to my kid. So I've been paying a lot of attention lately to what he's watching. Fern Gully's out. What?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I think about when we were kids, we would watch Tom and Jerry.
Oh my God!
I know. And when I had kids, they wanted to watch it, and I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's chasing him around the Thanksgiving table with a butcher knife! Oh my God, we can't watch this!"
Right.
It's scary how just some of the stuff that our kids are seeing and the level of violence.
You know what, though? Like, Tom and Jerry, something about it, like, now that I'm, like, watching it in my mind, there's something different about the violence in that than there is in, like, an enacted fight scene. Because it's like the aggression isn't really the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not condoning... I don't let my kid watch Tom and Jerry either, because I don't want him to find out the hard way what happens with a frying pan to the head, you know? Like, we're not doing that. It's not happening. But it's not the same, like, anxiety that builds up.
You know what I think it is, though? And I looked at other cartoons when we were kids, too. That kind of violence was animal on animal, usually. And now what we're seeing is person on person. So I think that when you saw, pretend animals, your mind's kind of able to, think through that and say, oh, okay, this isn't real. This isn't really happening. But when it's people on people, I think it kind of changes things.
That's an interesting take on that.
Because if you think of like Elmer Fudd, all of those things, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, but they're always animals.
Yeah.
And so I think that may be kind of the difference in it. Because when people were 50 years ago weren't running around and blowing up people, we didn't have a lot of the same things we're seeing now.
Diane, you are a mommy. How old is your child?
I have two. I have a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old, a boy and girl.
Cool. Oh, those are interesting ages.
Oh, yes. In between stages.
Right. They know everything together, though, right?
Right. And then they fight. It's a love-hate relationship. It's beautiful, but then, yeah.
I always thought when people, like, I have a brother and we never got along. It might have been the Tom and Jerry, seriously.
They have been.
But I used to think, God, when I was younger, I was like, I'd love to be an only child. And then these only child are like, I wish I had brothers and sisters. And it's like people want to fight for the benefits of either one. I think it's just the same no matter what. You're fine. Because, like, my son does not know sibling rivalry. He's such a pushover. He'd never get his way if he had an older sibling. He just wouldn't. Well, so what do you think about the shows, Diane?
I love the shows. I love them. Sometimes, though, I learn so much where I can't unlearn. And it can sometimes, just everyday things as a mom when you go in the grocery stores or just down to the water, down to the TVs, everything has just been bombarded. And watching the shows really heightens that awareness for that and makes you more conscious and really want to protect your kids even more. Because the more you learn, the more you're educated, and the more you're just like, it's so big, it's so epidemic and global. And whatever we all can do to come together to change this, that's what we need to do. And it's everywhere. It's mind, body, food, everything.
I know.
I'm
really grateful. I'm grateful I had my son later in life after I had like many years to learn all this freaky stuff and then also years to chill out from it, not be so freaked out, because I've got a pretty good grip on how to like live as closely as we were designed to as possible. But yeah, when you first start learning this stuff, it sucks. Going to the grocery store, when I was pregnant, I had multiple like emotional breakdowns at the grocery store. I'm like, they're trying to kill us. I don't know.
And that's what I was struggling with, is that I wish I knew that when I had them as a baby. Now that they're 10 and 11, I've implemented it over the last 5 years. But it's like you wish you could go back and undo things, but you don't know because we're not educated, we're not taught.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And now, from my problem is now that they're older, I've had two kinds of lives with them. They're used to going to doing those things like all the kids do, go to McDonald's or this and that or whatever, and now I'm trying to pull them away, and it's almost like a detox, and it's horrible. And then they have to go among their friends, but all their friends are doing it. So it's almost like peer pressure and drugs in a way. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to teach them balance and healthy choices all over again.
Yeah, I find it's well, mine's little, but if you teach them the reasons why and then let them know that you expect them to make choices that love themselves, and so that gives them a little bit more room so they don't maybe feel as defiant towards you. It's like, oh yeah, actually I do really love myself and I don't want to do that.
Right.
But also, like, mommy guilt sucks, Diane, so, like, you can't do that. And you love your kids. Like, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Our children, energy can't be created or destroyed, okay? So they came from somewhere to this time and chose you with all the stuff you didn't know. You know what I mean? So, like, that's part of their path.
That's what keeps me reminding. That's really true, because you can get lost in that. But that's what always comes back to me, is like, wait a minute, the Creator created us simultaneously. They know what's going on. I just need to use my intuition and guidance and make right choices. And then you teach your kids. And but it is easy to get lost just because of the bombardment, of every day.
I absolutely do.
Yes.
I really do.
That's why this show's on. That's what makes it so great, because it's on and you can tune in and, help each other out.
I am so happy to hear that. Thank you.
You guys have helped me for a very long time, different things, and really things that you would never even think of, real simple things. You should know, but you don't. I mean, you guys uncover everything, like the sunscreen thing. I had no idea about the ones that they say that they're healthy, and they're really still not healthy.
I know.
That kind of freaked me out.
You know what's fun, though, is when you get past all that stuff, and then you look, like your bathroom has, like, maybe coconut oil, some baking soda.
That's the beauty.
And it's
a transition,
so easy.
but people have to let go. And then transition to the new. I find people, too, when you're sharing with people or whatever, they're so used to the old way, but then you try to change them into using the coconut oil, things like that. It takes a little while getting used to. So,
but once you do, life gets so much easier.
But I know other people that have a hard time with it. But it's like, look at you guys, look and see what you're really doing. Look at the data. Look at what we're doing. Use the coconut oil.
Right? Well, and we're here to, like, teach from example more than anything. I mean, some people, it's just not their path to know right now, maybe, so just keep loving you and let go of that mommy guilt, because that's only going to get in your way, because your instinct is the most important thing, and really that's the most important thing in every aspect of life always. Just be authentic and just love yourself and be like, hey, I am here to enjoy life as much as I can while I am here, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do.
I love it. That's great.
Yes.
Love
So
it.
true.
All right, well, we got off topic, but I really love hearing that. Thank you so much.
That was good.
It's really good to know that this is more than just a fun hobby for us,
Oh, no, it's pretty, you guys are great. You're talking to, I know other moms, too, that we just really appreciate you, too, and the undercover work almost like you guys do to educate us and help us, as moms, to help our kids so we can still be here.
Well, now I feel my ego getting all big and giant. So. Thank you for that. That's fun. That's fun for Leo. I appreciate that. So.
Where's that crown?
So back to kids and their videos. Do you have any? You've always got great statistics and stuff, Jennifer. Do you have anything up your sleeve on this?
Okay, yes, I do.
I'm sure.
I went and kind of learned some stuff about media, and what was interesting is that our kids are still using all kinds of media, but still using the television is still the #1 way that our kids are spending that time on media. And so they're not necessarily watching cartoons live anymore, but they're watching it like by DVR or on demand or Netflix, things like that.
Huh.
And so I thought that was kind of interesting, because I would have thought that they spend more time on, like, computers and stuff, but really when they did all the research, our kids are still spending a lot of that extra time on TV. And so then I dug a little bit deeper to different places, and I found some information about a patent that had been applied for and granted. I don't know if you remember, but like a couple of years ago, remember when they did the big switch over from regular TV to the HD and all of that?
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to find something for this because we need it. Is there a dun dun dun?
Okay. Do you know where it is?
I don't see one. I don't see it. Dun dun dun. I'll just do it.
It's a little face.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
Okay. Yeah, this is really screwed up. Okay, there was a patent that was granted, a United States patent that's called an ultra-high frequency, a UHF. It's a silent subliminal affirmation system. And
this is the stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, and this was scary because I had no idea. But its whole point is
affirmations.
That's what they call it.
What?
Yes, the whole point is to use voice affirmations on a powerful, I'm quoting this, inaudible ultra-high audio frequency carrier in a format which is easily picked up and decoded by the human ear. And, dudes, it's subliminal messaging that's coming out of your HD TVs and sending you affirmations. Now, I'm not sure what those affirmations are. It could be you're wonderful, or it could be go buy Nestle water in California.
Oh my God! Wait a second. Okay, listen. Let's have a positive moment here, okay? So I'm just gonna say this, all right? So we've got, and this is for you, Diane, okay? So we have all these like evil freaking people with like all this money stuff going on, and they're messing with our food, and they're putting crap in our water, and they're doing all this stuff, right? Chemtrails, blocking the sun, and like every damn thing they're doing to keep us from being our most natural human state. To me, it is like they're just trying to like beat us down from the high frequency that we have when we feel calm and at joy and feel wonderful about who we are. That is a very high functioning state of being, and when you are there continuously, like amazing things happen, and you are so powerful, and you can create the most amazing things, and that is not helpful for them. So they're like these busy bees doing everything they can think to do, like all of this science, and money being spent to beat us into this not joy state of being. So we feel like crap, and we need whatever it is they're selling and whatever else. We go to work and for them and to make them more money so that we can go buy their crap and give them their money back. And really what it is if you just realize the only reason they do that is because our joy is more powerful than them. You know, like they're doing all of this work because really in our most natural state of being, we are so incredibly dynamic. You know, so really it's kind of like, oh, you busy little bees. You know, like just keep doing what you're doing. I'm just going to chill out over here, and you can't touch my joy, man. But what made me think to go there is we could use a device like that for positive affirmations. Like, let's let them do all the work to create this shit and then turn it around. That'd be so cool, huh?
Yes. Well, and the scientist who actually created it did create it with that intent.
Oh,
his whole intent was,
poor guy.
Bless his heart, was for goodness, to, you know, allow these positive affirmations to be going through the air at all times to make the world a better place.
That's so beautiful.
Yes, that was the intention until whoever,
dun, dun, dun.
they got a hold of it. Yeah.
I think it's cute that they work so hard. They don't really have much else to do, you know? They work really hard.
Yes.
We could teach you love, and it would be so much easier, everybody. Like, just let us know. I'm here. I'm a teacher. We'll do that.
Yes. Another little piece of that, because I don't want to like say that and then freak people out. Shut your armoires at night. There are things that you can do. There are crystals and things you can put around if that high frequency stuff is you're worried about.
Orgonite. Do you know about orgonite, Jennifer?
Yes, we have. Oh, do I have one around here? Yes.
Oh, awesome.
And you can make them. That's a whole other tips and tricks. They're so easy to make at home, and they absorb a lot of those high frequency things. I bet I'm going to sit and stall because she probably has one too.
Okay.
Here you go.
Let's let the light adjust. I have a really crappy camera. If any of y'all want to buy me a camera, you can.
There we go.
Then, just deal. This is my orgonite I keep on my bed. And it's a really solid resin. I have another beautiful one, but it's made with this really flaky kind of resin, so it's not very... I just keep it in one place all the time. This one is very sturdy, and I can take it to class with me. The cool thing about this is the first orgonite I ever got, first one, and when I bought it, this girl did this to my hand with it. See, just an inch above, and I can feel it. It feels like a magnet, like when you hold them together, and they're like that. It's very subtle energy. You can feel it. And so I take this to class for the superhero children classes, and the kids are like, oh my gosh, I can feel it. The energy. It's made from metal shavings, crushed up crystals, plant resin, and then a large crystal in the middle. And then the the way the resin presses against the metal and the crystal materials causes this energy reaction that just neutralizes electromagnetic waves.
Mm-hmm.
You can build big ones for your backyard called cloud busters, and they supposedly disturb chemtrails and like kind of give like a field. Kind of cool. I mean, it really actually goes along with science. So.
We need to do a tips and tricks on that because there are easy recipes where you can make your own.
Yeah, you can make them at home.
So that would be we'll do that sometime.
Awesome. Oh, fun. I like that stuff. Okay.
Okay, so you want to talk about good movies, good TV shows, your favorites?
We have to wrap this one up this is going to be a quicker show than usual, so we're going to go through the end and get off because we've got a doctor's appointment to go to, right?
Yes.
For mommies. So for me, I would never have guessed that one of my most profound movies with my child is Snow White. Okay? When he was really little, he watched Snow White. And it is such a representation of love and not love. So Snow White just radiates love. The animals all come to her. She sings with them. They keep her safe and guide her. And, like, the gnomes and everybody love her because she just radiates love. Whereas the Wicked Witch, even though she's gorgeous, she's hideous, and she has no friends. Except for the vultures that follow her around, and like everything sucks for her. It really does, you know. Like it's never good for her. And he noticed that as a baby, like as a little thing. When he was first starting to talk, he's like, "I choose love," you know. Like I could talk with him like that. Like, okay, are you choosing love or not love? Like, do you want to have people want to be around you right now, or do you want people to not want to be around you right now? And he got it. And now it's like, if it wasn't for that movie, I don't know who he'd be right now because it is such a major part of who he is. Pretty cool. Weird.
Well, it's amazing how much movies can do that, but they really do. They shape and change really a lot about your personality and how you see the world and things.
It's
true.
That's
kind of cool.
That's true. Do not like Shrek. What? Like, my kid loves Puss in Boots, so I bought him Shrek, thinking I'm going to show him where, like, you know, that version of Puss in Boots came from. And the whole thing is, like, one retarded fight scene after another. Excuse my French. I know that's a sensitive word, but, like, I'm a musician, and that means slow. Retard, slow. Whatever. I'm sorry I used that word. But but it's full. It's, like, stupid fight scenes, like, for no reason. After another, one after another. I was like, no Shrek.
Yeah. No good to that. Okay, I got one for you. I think one of my newest favorites that is really good, I've got a screen share for you because I want to show you all this website anyway with this, is Frozen.
Really?
Yes, I love that just because of the message behind it. And, you know, girl power, there's beauty inside of you no matter what, that kind of thing. So I really like that. Just the whole idea behind it.
I still haven't seen Frozen. I think it's like a thing. I think I'm like, no. Everyone tells me to see it. I'll see it.
Yeah, you have to see it. It's really got a good message to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think of Frozen, Diane? Have you had to see it a million times? You have kind of a smirk on your face, like you know that movie all too well.
My daughter's favorites, right?
Yeah.
The moment favorite. So it gets repeated over music from the soundtrack over.
Yeah.
You know, it is a really great message, but after a while you become numb and enough.
That's so true.
Frozen.
It's like, okay, when's the next one coming out? We need something new.
Okay. Here we go, mommies. And daddies, if you are going to select like movies for your kids, make sure that you don't mind seeing them a million times because you will. Like, I know every word to Puss in Boots. I know every word to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yes.
I know every word to all these things. It's amazing. All right, what do you have for us, Jennifer?
Okay, well, yeah, I liked Frozen, but really, more importantly, I think what I want to show y'all is because it's hard for me to say what's my favorite for other people. I hate that because I think everybody has kind of their own thing. So there's this really cool website that parents need to know about. It's called commonsensemedia.org.
Cool.
And what it is it reviews every TV show, movie, app, book, anything, and it's free. I'm going to show you all a screen share on it because it shows so many really cool things on it. It will give you, okay, let me go to it. It'll give you, first of all, a little clip about it if you don't know what the movie's about. It rates everything as far as like its educational value, what's its positive message, what are their positive role models, what's the violence level, is there sex, language, any of that. Then you can go in and there are places where it talks about what the story is, so it gives you a synopsis, what points that you could talk about with your family, where it's got like ingrained messages in it, you know, so like what do you think of the act of love that saves the kingdom? You know, things like that. And then it gives you, exact movie details. It tells you what ages it's appropriate for. And so any movie, any book, any app, any game, anything, you can just go to that website and punch it in. And it goes all the way from like 0 to 18 years old. And so I think that was like one of the most amazing things I found, because now when my 15-year-old comes and says, hey, can I go see this movie, and I'm not really sure what it is, I can go put it in right there, and it's going to tell me everything.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, how violent is it? How scary is it? Is there sexual? And it even went as exact as when it was talking about the Fast and Furious. Under sex, it said there are girls in bikinis at a party. Like, it tells you specific things, so then that way you can make an educated decision on whether you want your kids to see that or play that or read that book.
Yeah. You know, speaking of your kids going to watch movies without you, and I just want to throw in there that I really enjoy watching movies with my son, because then I can kind of explain things to him as we go along. And you know, my kid, he's been a pirate forever, if y'all have been following the show, and he loves Pirates of the Caribbean, so we can watch things like that together, and I can explain to him what's going on, and then he gets it. I mean, life is life, and you can't really protect them from life, but it's cool if you can guide them through things sometimes too, you know?
Yes.
I have found also, I want to throw out 3 more really fast, just going to say them, that my son's really been digging, and now that I am like steering clear of all the other stuff. And one is called Androids on Amazon Prime is where it is, where we're watching it. And I think the other one was, I forgot the other one. Androids. So it's cool because it's about these kids that like have androids and they build robots and solve problems, and it's really a cool thing. And my other one is Leapfrog's Letter Factory.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
my child, by the age, he wasn't even 1.5. He was 1. He knew all of his ABCs because that was his favorite movie. Somehow he forgot them for like 6 months, and then he had to relearn them, which was bizarre and I wasn't expecting. But like my 1-year-old knew his ABCs, and then the Word Factory. Once they understand all the letters, then the Word Factory teaches them how to read. So that's something that you could put in and put it on repeat and not have to really worry about it, and know that they're having their moment and they're learning really good stuff. So. Somebody gifted those to us when he was a baby, and oh my gosh, like 1 year old, he's like knowing all and what sound the letters make. It was amazing. Like, that's my kid. Yeah.
Those tapes are so creative because they put them with little pictures, and those are good videos.
Yeah. All right. So trekking through this show today so we can get out of here in time for the doctor's appointment. We are now going to talk about, I don't necessarily have tips and tricks. I just have, I guess, anecdotes for, on my part of the discussion for getting your children to join you in your favorite activities. That is something, so my son's 3.5, and we just went camping. It was amazing. And I went and did yoga in the trees in the morning. It was so cool, and my son started like joining me on all these things that I normally would try to break away from him to go have a moment to myself to go do these things. So now he's joining me in yoga. He's joining me in my meditations, you guys. Like I was very deep into my shamanic meditations before my son was born, and then finding a moment of silence to meditate at all since he's been born has been such a challenge. It's completely like ripped me away from like the essence of my most favorite things about who I am. And now that he's at this age, it's like I take him out there with me in the mornings and we silently just hug each other and listen to the birds wake up is what I call it. But really it's like breathing meditation, and then at night. And it's changed my whole world. It's changed my whole relationship with my child.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Major big time stuff here for me.
Mm-hmm. I think when they're young and you start them out that way, then it's really easy because that's what they're accustomed to.
Mm.
I think, like when my kids were young, I didn't know all of this stuff, so I didn't start it out that way. And so it makes it harder to go back sometimes and reteach that and kind of drag them into your new passions and things.
Yeah.
So that's, you know.
I think you mentioned before, we kind of talked about something like this before, and you said, like, it's been so long that you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot what it was you liked to do without them.
Yeah.
Read a book. How in the heck do you manage to read a book with kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a lot of time to do any of that at all. But if you can...
I started doing audio books, and then, like, when I was in the bath or in the bathroom or whatever, you lock yourself in the bathroom with an audio book. That's how I started getting books in.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
During mommy time. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, speaking of books, okay, so that's another thing. So when I got home from camping, I was like, I'm going to see how far I can push this. See, like, how adaptable is my child now? And so I was going through my books, and I found the Never-Ending Story, the novel. I mean, it's a paperback, but it's like this thick. It's a novel. And Zane wanted to read his Puss in Boots book, and I was like, how about this? And the first 2 pages, he was not having it. He's like, where are the pages? Where are the pictures? I want to see the pictures, Mama. And then I told him, just wait, because you're going to see them in your mind. He's like, whoa. And sure enough, we are now 5 chapters in, and every time Zane reads on the potty, I read while he's on the potty, and then, like, in bed and before nap. And we're getting through a chapter a day. Like, he's so into it. He's like, Mom, will you read me the ever-ending story? Never-ending story. Yeah, can you believe that? 3.5, we're reading the novel.
Mm-hmm. And that is a good key is when your kids see you doing your passion or reading, they're going to imitate that.
Yeah.
And so by you reading, and, you know, that instills that love of reading in him.
Don't forget to do you, mamas, because, like, it's easy to forget. I forgot, and now I'm like, I know my son is 3.5, but I think I could have been in my own skin, really, you know, like, earlier than this. I don't think it had to wait this long. So, yeah. Well, all right. Without further ado.
Oh, are we going to still do that? Okay, hold on. Here's my screen share. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Here we go.
This
all right.
Hot Daddy of the Week is Damon Perry.
Yes.
Damon Perry. So Jennifer, do you have the write-up from his daughters? Do you want to do this one?
Sure, I will. Let me pull up my phone. Yes, this is why I asked him. I said, hey, why is your daddy the greatest daddy in the world? And one of my daughters said, because he feeds me, helps me, loves on me, takes me places, is nice to me, talks about funny stuff, cool stories, says yes to a lot of things that I ask him to do. And more seriously, because he does say yes to a lot of things that they ask him to do, because he's kind of a big teddy bear. But really, more importantly, he's the guy who's at every soccer game or football game or concert or choir concert or anything. You know, when one of the kids is having a hard time, he'll go and take them to get ice cream or just go to the park and hang out. And so he's really a great daddy. He really spends that quality time. And so, yeah.
Wonderful, Damon. Well done. Well done. We had Damon on as a nutritional student expert, we say, student expert, when we first started doing Modern Mommies. So he's involved with Soul Garden and does amazing stuff regarding what we're eating. So look for that. But also, he's a wonderful daddy. So well done, Damon. Yes. Yay! We honor you as this week's Hot Daddy of the Week. Thanks for being a stellar daddy. And if you have a hot daddy at home, or if you know one and would like to see them honored here on Modern Mommies, send us a picture and a brief reason why, and you just might see them honored live on the show. So send that to modernmommies.me. Hey, everybody, we have our own URL, modernmommies.me. If you want to find anything or send us a daddy pic and yeah, reason why, do that. Go there. You can also find us on our Facebook group, Modern Mommies Facebook group, and you can find any of the videos from the past on the Soul Garden YouTube channel. And if you do go there, please be kind and do subscribe to help out the Soul Garden relationship with YouTube. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Jennifer, it is always a pleasure.
Yes, you too.
Oh, and real quick, I forgot to make the announcement. We are considering going every other week because that's kind of what's been happening already, because we're mommies, we're busy mommies, and we keep getting postponed and shooting every other week anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and do that for a little while and see what happens, because we need some time with our kids. But we love you, and definitely come find us on the Facebook group, and we can chat anytime. It's easy to chat when you're holding your kid. It's not easy to do hair and makeup and do a show. Diane, wonderful having you on. Thank you so much. Thank you for your insight too, and I'm looking forward to having you join us again. I know that from the little bit that I have interacted with you about outside of this show, I know you have a really interesting voice, so I'm really looking forward to having you share that with us more. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll be back here, so in 2 weeks, 2 Wednesdays from now, at, are we doing 7 p.m., Jennifer?
Sure, whatever works for you.
7 p.m.
Like 7
Central. Yeah. Here on soulgarden.me. Until then, live, love, be.